The Blue River National Dog Show wasn't the kind of place you wandered into. It was pristine, exclusive. The air smelled like fresh roses and old money. It was a parade of polished pedigree pups, designer leashes, and whispered legacies. The owners wore tailored suits and pastel cardigans. Their dogs had names like Sir Barkington of Lancaster and Princess Celestine of Whitmore. So when Monica Harris walked through the gates, everything stopped. Not because she was loud, but because she was different. Monica was black. She was tall, graceful, maybe in her early 50s. She wore a wide sun hat, a thrifted floral skirt, and practical sneakers. But the real attention grabber? Duke. A big, goofy, one-eyed mutt with wiry fur and a tail that wagged like it had a motor in it. No papers, no bloodline, no Instagram following, just scars and heart. They didn't belong here, according to everyone else. You could feel it in the looks, the stiff smiles, the whispered, bless her heart comments. Is that a rescue? What category would she even be in? She must be lost. But Monica, she just smiled, because she hadn't come to win a trophy. She came because Duke saved her life. 6 months ago, she found him under a highway overpass. It was raining, freezing. He was limping, dirty, ribs showing through his coat. Everyone else walked past, but not Monica. She didn't see a dog. She saw a soul, just as broken as she was. She wrapped him in her coat and took him home. Spent her last dollars at the vet, cooked him rice and chicken, slept beside him on the floor. And in return, Duke stayed by her side on every hard day, especially the anniversaries of the day her husband didn't come back from Afghanistan. So when the dog show came to town, she didn't care that it was elite. She didn't care that no one looked like her. She just knew one thing. That dog gave me his loyalty, she said. The least I can give him is a day in the sun. The Blue River Dog Show had 20 competition rings. Each was pristine. Each bordered by perfectly spaced white benches, potted flowers, and the subtle tension of decades-old wealth. Monica and Duke, they were placed in Ring 9. That ring wasn't for golden retrievers with royal names or purebred huskies with handlers in matching suits. No, Ring 9 was for miscellaneous entries, which was a nice way of saying the ones who don't belong anywhere else. The announcer's voice echoed over the speakers. Up next, Duke, accompanied by Monica Harris. Even his hesitation felt like a jab. The claps that followed were half-hearted. A few polite taps, maybe out of obligation. One woman snickered. Someone whispered, well, this should be entertaining. Monica walked tall. Duke strutted beside her, tail wagging like he'd just won the lottery. She leaned down and whispered, we're not here to impress. We're here to show them who we are. Duke responded by licking her hand and trotting a little faster. Their routine was simple. They didn't rehearse for tricks or choreography. They practiced trust. Duke circled her legs as she walked. He paused when she did, sat when she said his name, rolled over when she bent down and clapped twice. Nothing wild, no music, no costumes, just synchrony and soul. At first, the crowd stayed cold. Folded arms, tilted heads, phones raised, not in admiration, but curiosity. But something changed about halfway through. Duke did a small jump, not high, but full of joy. And when Monica clapped, he barked once and sat. The bark echoed. And a little boy in the audience, sitting near the front, laughed. It was the first real human sound that didn't feel rehearsed. The boy had Down syndrome. About 7, maybe 8 years old, clutching a plush dog and sitting stiffly between 2 nervous parents. Then Duke did something unplanned. He stopped mid-routine, turned, locked eyes with the boy. Duke, Monica whispered gently. But Duke walked toward the child. The judges stirred. A gasp rippled through the crowd. But Duke didn't bark. He didn't pounce. He walked over, sat down, and gently laid a paw on the child's shoe. The boy froze, then laughed again, dropped his stuffed animal, and wrapped his arms around Duke's neck. The entire arena went silent. No applause, no commentary, just hearts cracking open. The boy's mother blinked back tears. "He hasn't smiled like that in months," she whispered. "He doesn't usually respond to animals." Monica knelt beside them, her own eyes glassy. He just knew. Then the crowd stood. Not just a few, all of them. A full standing ovation for a mutt with a crooked tail, and the woman who walked him into a space that never invited her. Even the judge came over, holding his clipboard like it was meaningless. "He may not have a pedigree," he said quietly, "but today, he showed more heart than any dog here." For the first time that day, Monica smiled like she believed she belonged. The awards ceremony began like it always did. Polished dogs and even more polished owners stood in perfect formation. Judges held clipboards like weapons. Cameras flashed. Ribbons were handed out. Blue, red, and yellow like patriotic symbols of an exclusive world. Monica stood at the edge of the ring, gently holding Duke's leash. She didn't expect a thing. They'd already won, in their own way. Because Duke had done something no one else there had done. He reached a human soul, and no judge could measure that. The announcer's voice echoed again. "Before we present this year's Best in Show," people turned their heads. "We'd like to recognize one special participant. One who reminded us all why we fell in love with dogs in the first place." A murmur rippled through the arena. "This year's Human Canine Heart Award goes to Monica Harris and Duke." A beat, then applause, then a standing ovation. Monica blinked, stunned. Even Duke seemed to pause, then bark once like he understood. They walked to center ring. A woman in a pearl jacket handed Monica a plaque. Simple, understated, but it held the words she'd never imagined hearing. "For the bond that broke barriers." After the show, Monica and Duke walked across the empty grass. Vendors were packing up, ribbons were being boxed. Champions were being loaded into luxury SUVs. But then she heard soft footsteps behind her. It was the little boy, the same child who had hugged Duke. He ran right up and threw his arms around the dog again. His parents followed, slower this time, smiling. "He hasn't stopped talking about Duke," the mother said. "We're getting him a rescue dog of his own." Monica knelt beside the boy. "You know," she said, "the best dogs don't come from fancy places. They come when you need them most." She looked at Duke. "He saved me, and I think he's about to do the same for your son." She stood, brushed a tear from her cheek, and walked toward the parking lot. Duke trotted beside her. No leash now, no need. They walked as partners, as survivors, as something this world needed more of. A second chance. And from that day on, when people talked about the 53rd annual Blue River Dog Show, they didn't remember the Best in Show winner. They remembered the shaggy, one-eyed mutt named Duke, and the black woman who walked into an all-white ring and left them all crying. Final YouTube message: she didn't come to prove herself. She came to honor her best friend. And by the end, she reminded a whole arena what true beauty really looks like. Thank you for watching. If you want to get more of that kind of stories, press like and check out our channel.